in here last week, but welcome back to another Q&A Sunday stream. I am the Goldman, and today I'm here to answer your questions. Well, some early comments from Sean. Thank you for tuning in. What's up, Goldman? How has your week been? My week's been all right. I had a fun weekend last week. Last weekend, I had some friends visit. We just hung out, had a good time. That's why I wasn't able to stream last Sunday. Even though a week ago was my 5-year Goldman anniversary. Cheers. But I had a lot of fun, and then this week, I pretty much just grinded my Dune video, which is doing okay so far. Let's hope it picks up and gets some more views. Sean says, also, Goldman, you've been doing videos on YouTube for 5 years. I believe. What are some of the things you've learned and changed with your channel over the years? Also, would you say doing YouTube has changed you? What has changed? Well, when I first started doing YouTube, well, thank you for acknowledging my 5-year time on YouTube. When I first started doing YouTube, it was a lot less planned, a lot less disciplined. I kind of just made Star Wars videos, and I grew a little bit of an audience doing that. And that's really what I was doing for 2.5 years. I just kept on making these Star Wars videos, these quick videos. And I grew to like 5,000 subscribers. And then I started doing these retrospectives. My first one was on Game of Thrones. And that really blew up. So that's kind of how I've changed. And the things I've learned is that YouTube, you have to keep on adapting. You can't stick with a certain niche or format forever. That's why I'm going to really start to mix up the formats of the videos I make on this channel. So I think I love making these years later videos, but I gotta start making some other kinds of videos. And what was the last part of the question? I gotta scroll back up. How has YouTube changed me? I think it's changed a lot of my habits. I'm a lot more disciplined. I know what I want in life. I've kind of really enjoyed pursuing this, and it's given me a lot more options in my life of things I can do, right? I can do this as my job now, which is still so weird to say. But I feel like I myself haven't changed. I'm still me. So yeah, great questions. Happy 5-year channel anniversary. Thanks. Sean says, also Goldman, I was wondering if you still have all the Legos you showed in one of your first videos on your channel. I think it was titled something like the Goldman's Room Tour. I still have the Legos. However, they're all broken. So when I was making those videos back then, when I first started the channel, I was still in college. So when I came home from college, I'd go to my parents' house. And in my basement, I had all my Star Wars memorabilia from when I grew up. And that included a bunch of Legos. When I moved out, my parents demanded I cleaned up the entire basement. And currently, I'm not living in a place where I can afford to just put Legos everywhere. So I just boxed up all the Legos, and they're chilling in the corner of my parents' basement right now. So whenever I do get my own place that's much bigger and much nicer than this, I can put them up for display again. Jeep says, hey Goldman, hope you're doing well. Are you a fan of the Mission Impossible movies? If so, would love to see a video on the series before The Final Reckoning comes out in May. I have not seen most of the Mission Impossible films, including the more recent ones. My biggest flaw as a creator in the movie review space is that I don't watch enough movies, because so many of my videos are retrospectives that I just rewatch stuff from my videos. And then when I want to watch something new, or if I'm pondering watching something new, I argue with myself, is this the best way to spend my time? And it is, because if I need to watch more movies and shows in order to broaden my horizons, right? I can't just keep rewatching certain things. So there's a lot of franchises I just haven't seen, and Mission Impossible is one of them. So I need to work on that. That's definitely my biggest flaw as a content creator in this space. Wildcat says, hi, hello. Same with Andreas. Thanks for tuning in. Persephone says, is it really 5-year anniversary? Have you made a special video about it? Last Sunday, so that was February 23rd, that was 5 years from my first video. So my first video I uploaded was February 23rd, 2020. And that was right before COVID. I can remember making that video. That was so... My favorite thing about that video is I began it with a little skit. I mean, you can go to my channel right now and go to my oldest video, and it's a video about Luke Skywalker and The Last Jedi. Like, I began that video with a funny skit with me and Claude, and then like in the video, I mime Claude and I say, "Oh, Goldman, you should make a video." And then I pan to the right and I look at my desktop, and it says like Goldman 20 subscribers. I'm like, you know what? I will make a YouTube video. I don't know, just something about that is so poetic. Like, whenever I want to picture how far like I've gone with the channel, it's like I look back to that and I was like, oh, there was a time where I had like 20 subscribers that were just from friends and family who I told about my channel before I even made a video. And I don't know, it's really neat. It's a neat thing to have, to build something over the course of many years for half a decade and have it be something to be really proud of. That's a really big accomplishment of mine. Rashav says, happy belated 5th anniversary. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't really market it because I was pondering, do I want to make a video, my thoughts and whatever? But I kind of already did that last year when I hit 100,000 subscribers. And I don't have much else to add on that. Not much has changed in the past year. So, actually, that's not true. I went full-time in this past year. But in terms of the lessons I've learned, nothing really has changed. Jupigorg says, hey there, long-time watcher, first-time live chatter. Really love your content. It's low-key been very inspiring in my journey of getting back into content making myself. Keep it up, bro. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, content creation is a fun game, but it's a very hard one. There's a lot of months and years of making stuff that no one watches. I wish you the best of luck on your journey, and thank you for tuning in. Wildcat says, I hope Dune Part 2 gets an Oscar. Me too. That movie's really good. Tony Movie says, question, do you think that feminist is bad for movies, or is that a good thing? I think movies should be for everyone. If someone out there wants to make feminist movies, they should be allowed to. There's an audience for that. I don't judge. It may not be for me. And I think there's issue in taking an existing franchise or IP and kind of changing the audience. But in general, making movies for anyone, I think, should be celebrated. Again, just because it's not for me doesn't mean it shouldn't be for someone else. Andrea says, does the Where the MCU Went Wrong video have Brave New World spoilers in it? That's why I haven't watched it. No, it doesn't. I made that video before Brave New World even came out. Actually, I think it released right when it came out. But yeah, there's no spoilers in that video. Dragonclaw says, question for the Goldman plus chat. If you could choose a video game to receive an adaptation, what game would you choose? A Subnautica adaptation would be really cool. I'd choose Halo. I know Halo had an adaptation, and my next video is on the Halo series, but I want a proper adaptation, like, of the games. Goldman says, hey bro, how's it going? Things are going well. Tony Movie says, Goldman, I've thought about rewatching The Last Jedi recently to give it another fresh watch, even though I've been mixed on it in the past. But the more I think about it, the more I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot to appreciate. And the more... Thing is, strong emotions or strong negative emotions can fade over time. So if you watched that movie when it came out and you really hated it, 7 years later, or it's been 8 years later, you might not hate it as much. You might just say, yeah, this is a stupid movie, but I can appreciate some parts of it. Matthew Kelly says, what next president of Lucasfilm after Kathleen Kennedy do you think they're going to take her place after 2025 since she's getting to be retired in 2026? You need to work on your grammar, man. I think the person they should hire is someone nobody knows. Some executive out there that's a Star Wars fan but knows how to run a business. That's what I think they should bring in. Not Favreau or Filoni or anyone else. A new guy. Persephone says, are you watching other creators who make videos like yours? I like the videos by The Critical Drinker and Friendly Space Ninja, even if I don't see them all. Sometimes. I don't particularly watch those. I don't believe I've heard of Friendly Space Ninja. And The Critical Drinker is more of a politically motivated YouTuber, movie reviewer, and not for me. I don't watch any specific creators. I often watch just videos, right? If I'm researching something on Dune, I'll watch some other YouTube videos from other content creators, but I don't really remember off the top of my head which ones. FilmSpeak is a good guy I've spoken to him before, and I've watched some of his videos. There's Thrifty Typewriter, I like him. I watch Sean Chandler reviews because they're not so much video essays, they're reviews, and I think sometimes I need that. But no, I don't actually watch many other YouTubers, at least in this space. Sean says, say Goldman, I may have asked this a few times in streams, but anyways, will you watch the Fantastic Four, the First Steps movie when it comes out and do a video on it? Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll probably do a stream, if anything. I'm still debating if I want to do like actual videos on new stuff. I probably should, but we'll see. Dragonglaw says, I brought up the Sonic movies as an example. The Goldman hasn't reviewed them, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I thought I'd mention it since he said he needs to broaden his horizons. Yeah, I do. I keep saying that, and I keep not doing it, so. Sean says, also Goldman, how far are the Knicks going this year, you think? They'll get bounced in the second round, which is unfortunate because I want them to go farther. Goldman says, Goldman, what do you think about the Doctor Doom RDJ casting? I think it could be interesting. You know, I'm not entirely against it. I do think it's a little desperate, but who knows? Desperate moves can pay off. So we'll see. Rashav says, thoughts on the new details about Sean Levy's Star Wars movie, it taking place 5 to 6 years after The Rise of Skywalker, being standalone and featuring some sequel trilogy characters. I love it. I think Ryan Gosling, because that's the rumored actor to be in the movie, I actually support him being in this movie. I think it can draw eyes to Star Wars. And Star Wars actually needs that right now, because it's not very popular. And I like it being in a different part of the timeline. I wonder how important it will be. Is it going to be like a fun adventure? Is Ryan Gosling going to be a Jedi? That'd be so funny. But I have no issues with it. I didn't love Deadpool and Wolverine, but I hope Sean Levy can make a great film. Tony Movie says, Drinker is another one of those whack job of the Phantom Menace, only cares about his own agenda and how movies should be. I mean, yeah, his content's not for me. Persephone says, I've heard she won't retire after all. I bet she'll be gone in a year, at least close to it. Sean says they should bring Goldman to be the president of Lucasfilm, no doubt. I'd love that. I'd take the job. I need someone to run the business side of it, but I'd run the content creation strategy. I think I'd do a good job. Sue me. Maybe I'm naive. I think I'd do a good job. Kelton House says, how you doing? I'm doing well. I'm going to go to Costco after this video. I need to go grocery shopping. And I think I'm going to get a slice of pizza. Anija Ani says, will you make a video about Pirates of the Caribbean? Love the movies. It's on my list of things I'd like to make videos about. The thing I need to start considering is I love these years later videos. They're just my bread and butter. I love making them. They're fun. But at some point, I do need to start broadening my horizons in terms of what I watch, in terms of what kinds of videos I make. Do I want to do, more character-based videos instead of retrospectives on movies or shows? That's something I'm interested in. Do I want to do shorter 15-minute video essays on a specific topic? That's something I'm interested in. I just need to set aside the time to actually explore these new ideas. And that's the biggest thing on my list. Tony says, personally, consider myself to be a feminist, especially for great women lead of movies and TV shows. I've always been about that, but when it's done right and not forced on, but the writing has got to be good. It's hard to read some of these comments without proper punctuation. Goldman says, you just change your profile pic? Do you think they should have made the X-Men a part of the MCU after Age of Ultron? No. I think MCU Phase 3 turned out pretty well, and they didn't need to make any changes to Phase 3 that they didn't need to. Rishav says, thoughts on the new announcement of the new Avatar show? Oh, I can't believe I forgot. I need to talk about that. Yeah, I'm intrigued by the premise, but it's a shame that it has reignited the hate against Korra. I mean, this is really strange because a lot of people seem to be against this new idea of the Avatar show, Seven Havens. I think it's really interesting. I like that they're doing something different. It is a little weird. It's going to be a little weird watching the show and knowing that it's going to be weird watching Korra and knowing that at the end of this story, it's all going to go to shit. Her accomplishments with Republic City are going to be not. And I'm assuming the cataclysm has something to do with the spirits, and that's something that Korra caused. So, it's too early to judge per se. Like now, it's weird watching Avatar: The Last Airbender and thinking, oh, 160 years in the future, there's going to be a potentially world-ending cataclysm. It's just a weird thing to think. But over time, that's going to change. That guy B says, drinker's contentment for anyone but himself. If you really look at it, LOL. I don't watch enough of his videos. Dogmy says, even though I don't know how I got here, but it is interesting that you look like Jamie Oliver. You may not know who he is, but basically a celebrity chef. I might get baited here. It's not the first time where someone's commented a name and I haven't recognized the name and I've looked it up and it's been a porn star. So let's see. Jamie Oliver, celebrity chef and restaurateur. I don't know if I see it. Well, at least it's not a porn star, so thank you. Persephone says, pizza for breakfast? It'll be lunch. Lunch and just one slice of pizza. Nothing big. Juan Diego says, hello, Goldman. What's your opinion on Sin City movies? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Is that a franchise? I've never seen that. Andrea says, speaking of pirates, I think the third one is the most epic movie I have ever seen. Third one was good. It's been a while since I've seen those movies, but I remember really liking the third one. Yeah, that's another movie thing I should rewatch. I should just spend less time. What I struggle with the most, and this ties into what I said before about expanding my horizons, is I just spend a lot of time on my phone, wasting time in the day. I want to use that time to watch new things. And also I need to balance, because it's important that I watch things that I just have no intentions on making a video on. Like one of my favorite shows is That 70s Show, at least when I watched it when I was younger. And it's been showing up on my YouTube Shorts feed. I kind of want to rewatch it. Do I plan on making a video on it? No. But I think it's important that not every show or movie I watch is for the Goldman. Sometimes I just want to watch something and I can chill back, eat dinner, and enjoy it. So that's something I kind of want to start doing. Where was I? Persephone says, I know it needs to happen to make the next show, but I'll be heartbroken when Korra dies because she's my favorite avatar thus far. Yeah. The thing is, it's like, I won't be heartbroken. I'm curious how she dies. Is she going to die like Roku during this big cataclysm? Is she going to just die of old age? The thing is, I'm inclined to believe Korra is going to die doing something. Like Korra dying while stopping this cataclysm. Because they said in the teaser for this that the Avatar isn't seen as humanity's savior, but humanity's destroyer. And that has to be because of what Korra did. So, yeah, her legacy isn't going to be great inside the Avatar universe. And we'll see how this next Avatar treats that. It's a little girl, supposedly. So we'll see what her relationship is like with Korra. Rex Coder says, would you consider rewrites on broad themes, like rewriting how you would write prequel Jedi or other problematic fictional organizations so as to achieve a certain message? That's not a bad idea. I'd have to think about that. I do love rewriting stories. Yeah, I'm going to keep that in mind, Rex Coder. This for the comment. Matthew Kelly says, what if Elon Musk bought Disney and or Lucasfilm? Do you think this be not just turn off Musk haters, viewers leaving the franchise, but making any Democrat actors leave Star Wars projects too? Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't think Elon's interested in buying Disney. And that's a big company you gotta buy. I don't know if Elon wants to do that. Wildcat says, what is your go-to movie snack? Popcorn. Popcorn is my favorite, junk food snack. I love popcorn so much. Sean says, Goldman, I'm really into military stuff. Not that is the most important thing. So I was wondering, would you ever review movies like Saving Private Ryan or American Sniper or Hacksaw Ridge? Uh, Probably not in terms of those older movies, but I've seen them all, and I love. I don't remember American Sniper as much. Hacksaw Ridge is an excellent movie. I just really like Andrew Garfield. I think he's an excellent actor, and he seems like a really good guy. Saving Private Ryan is also a great movie, but I don't know if I'd make videos on them. Andrea says, I always liked Legend of Korra, especially the third season. For me, it was just the Industrial Revolution vibe that didn't make it as immersive as the more elemental and fantastical Avatar: The Last Airbender. I get that. A lot of people say that, but just I don't agree with it. I don't know. The Industrial Revolution part, I think, was really a really interesting part of the show. I like the different vibe. Persephone says, I hope Korra's legacy won't be what you said, regardless of what will happen. That's just going to be. I can't picture a way where they can avoid that. I mean, they've set it up now that people see the Avatar as humanity's destroyer. And in the Legend of Korra, that wasn't the case. So that means after the events of the fourth season of The Legend of Korra, something has to have happened. Most likely, something Korra did. So, I'm just not as invested in fandom war type of stuff. I know a lot of people don't like Korra, and this show may only fuel that hate. Is that unfortunate? Sure. Do I care per se? Not really. Like, I like Korra. I love the show. And unless they make an unless they make an active attempt to ruin Korra's character, like there's no misunderstanding, like she deliberately does something bad at the end of her life, then it's not really going to change my opinion on the character. God, my throat. Persephone says, I hope Korra's legacy won't be what you said. I think I already read that. Doll says, what category are you most looking forward to at the Oscars tonight? For me, it's animated films. I don't watch the Oscars. I didn't even know it was tonight, to be honest. I guess really I'm just best picture. I'm always curious. I don't even know what's nominated for best picture. What's nominated for best picture? There's a lot of movies, Jesus. Amelia Perez, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Nickel Boys, I'm Still Here, The Substance, Dune Part 2, Wicked, Anora, The Brutalist. I've only seen one of these movies. Dune Part 2. I'll root for that. Where was I? Goldman says, Red Hulk should somehow manage to control his powers and enforce his power as president, and Hulk should fight Red Hulk / Ross after Ross kills Scar. I have no clue what you're talking about. Zero clue. I mean, Red Hulk from Captain America, but besides that, I have no clue what you're talking about. Sean says, Goldman, if you could, would you have left Ahsoka's death at the end of Rebels Season 2 and not made her return? No, I don't mind her returning. I just don't like... the Ahsoka show has really soured on me, and I don't like it. I wish they did something different. Sean says, Goldman, have you ever done a review on Garfield's Spider-Man movies? No, but it's on the list. It is actually on the list. That will be made at some point. Rishav says, are you still collecting the Chronicles of Avatar books? I think the next book will be another Roku book, The Awakening of Roku. I have the Kyoshi ones, if you look right here. I need to get the Yang Chen ones, and I need to get the Roku ones. The thing is, there's a lot of books I want to read. I'm reading Harry Potter right now. I just need to do more reading. Again, it's like there's so many things I want to do that I just can't do. So reading the Avatar books is on that list. Persephone says, what are you talking about? I'm not a part of any fandom war at all. It's just a hope of mine. Oh, I wasn't specifically talking about you. I was talking about people in general. Because I know I saw on like the Korra subreddit that people were upset. Oh, Korra haters are going to be fueled now. I'm just like, yeah, I get it. I mean, I don't care, but I understand why others would. Dogme says, Sir Goldman, if you're going to recommend a movie genre to one person, what would it be and why? It would depend on the person. What do you like? Do you like action? Then I'd choose action movies. I don't know if I'd recommend a movie genre to one person. That's a pretty broad thing. I would just ask them, what kind of movies do you like? If people weren't, if someone came to me, hey, I really like this kind of movie, but I want to expand my horizons, what kinds of movies should I watch? I'd recommend animated films. I just think they're so good. They're so underrated. Andrea says, are you interested in Formula One at all? No. Sean says, Goldman, you've said in the past, I think in a vid, that you never liked Tales of the Jedi. Would you have liked each episode? Would you have liked it if each episode talked about a Jedi's backstory or story of one of them? Yeah, I just think the episodes should have been longer. And I hated the format. Like 6 15-minute episodes, that's stupid. And they should have just chosen more interesting characters. Like, do we need to see Ahsoka's backstory after she has her own show? And the Clone Wars was basically her show. I mean, she has the most screen time in the Clone Wars. So choose like some random character. That's kind of interesting. Not what was her name? The Tales of the Empire girl that wasn't Barriss. God, Morgan Elsbeth. Like, that's such a weird character to choose. Goldman AK says, it would be awesome if they made a movie where Red Hulk kills Hulk's son from She-Hulk. I bet you the Hulk's son from She-Hulk is never going to be shown again. That show is going to be scrapped from the canon. Sean says, like, they could do an episode on Plo Koon's backstory, or Fisto's, or Sakura's. I mean, yeah, that would be slightly more interesting. I probably wouldn't like it, but it would be more interesting than getting more backstory episodes on Ahsoka. Matthew Kelly says, do you like to see recommendations on watching the live-action TV series of One Piece on Netflix and watch it in the future? It's something that's on my list of things I could be interested in watching. Rex Coder says, have you read the Thrawn trilogy? In my honest opinion, if you can accept all the quirks, you can accept The Rise of Skywalker, worth the retrospective. Yeah, I actually have. The books are right here. The Thrawn trilogy. I like them. I won't say I love them. It would be hard to make a retrospective on books because what would I show in the video? Like, I'd have to look up fan art. I could use the comic images, but I don't know if I'd ever make a retrospective on books. Wishav says, is there any movie or show where you at first had either negative or apathetic reaction, but upon rewatching it, you grew to enjoy it? Avengers Endgame was kind of on that list. When I first saw it, I thought it was way too fan servicey. And I still kind of think that. But the movie, I grew to appreciate how it concluded a lot of the characters' arcs. And that's the best part of the Endgame. Oh, my neck hurts. So yeah, I'd say Avengers Endgame. Besides that, I didn't like The Last Jedi when I first saw it, but like the next day it grew on me. So I guess that kind of counts. Yeah, Morgan Elsbeth. Andreas says, my favorite anime movie of all time is Surf's Up, the ultimate dude movie. It always leaves me feeling inspired and positive. You know my favorite animated movie ever? WALL-E. Persephone says, I'm glad you're thinking about animated shows. One of the stupidest things people say about them is that they're for kids. For kids only, teenagers at most. Like, adults are too dumb to like them. I mean, show them Arcane and say, is this a show for kids? I mean, there's a lesbian sex scene in Arcane. I don't know if that's for kids. So, spoilers. Most animated stuff is for kids, yes, but I don't think Invincible is for kids. So, yeah, I get those vibes. I get the vibes from those people as well. Goldman AK says, I think they should make a Star Wars What If series. I could be interested in that. Abby says, is it possible for you to discuss Amphibia? It's a TV show designed for kids, but there's a lot of content you can talk about. I've never heard of it. Never say never, but I doubt I'd ever make a video about that show. Rishav says, actually, She-Hulk and Scar appeared in the leaked concept art for Secret Wars. I did see that. I still doubt they're going to show up. I just don't believe it. Oh, the leaked concept art? Oh, well, I just spoke about it. I mean, it's concept art. Who cares? Dogme says, have you ever watched a horror movie that actually got a reaction or two out of you? If yes, then what is it? I actually get scared pretty easily from horror movies, funny enough. Um, what's the last horror movie I saw? Thing is, I don't actually get a visible, like, I don't get jump scared as much when watching horror movies. It's more so like the tense parts. Like, I thought I saw Heretic. I believe that was the last horror movie I saw. And I thought the tension in that movie was excellent. I don't know if it scared me per se. Hanover says, Invincible is my favorite animated show, and it's definitely not a kid's show. It's a must-watch. Yeah, that's something people keep telling me I need to watch. Goldman AK says, Are you interested about Invincible show? I've yet to watch it. Yeah, I need to watch it. I mean, that's something I actually need to watch. Matthew Kelly says, since you did mention about Atla cartoon and live action Netflix series, do you ever saw the last Airbender film before? Yeah, I saw it. It's terrible. It is not good. Abby says, I've seen a Call to Spy movie, but I was hoping you can discuss years later about it. It's based on real-life historical figures and a real-life event. I mean, maybe. Lots of things to add to the list. Persephone says, ew, yes, that's what I'm saying. I knew you were going to mention Arcane, but I didn't expect you to say the lesbian, you know what. Yeah, I mean, that's what's in the show. Persephone says, anyway, I also thought about Tokyo Ghoul and Attack on Titan. Yeah, I don't know Tokyo Ghoul well, but I know Attack on Titan is not for kids. Doll says, the only hard thing I've been scared of or disgusted by is a theme park advert that showed someone's skin melting into the ground. That seems a little dark. And I'm caught up with the comments. Andreas says, are you open to go into anime? I mean, I'm not against it. If there's a good anime movie or show, I'll watch it. I kind of treat anime like its own, not as its own genre, just like an animated show or movie. I would be if there's something that intrigued me in anime. Andreas says, I already read that. Sean says, Goldman, do you play video games a lot? I play, I wouldn't say a lot. I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty lately. I was into Rocket League throughout like all of 2024. But I wouldn't say a lot. Like, I mainly just play to keep in touch with some friends. I'm not a big gamer. I don't play many single-player games. Like, I didn't play Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I just watched all the cutscenes. Persephone says, let's just say that both of them are bloody as hell. Yeah. Notorious Nate, welcome, says, hey, Goldman, do you plan on redoing your top 10 or 20 favorite films of all time list at some point? I might do a stream on that, like a tier list, where I'd make a custom tier list and like hide them. But I don't know if I'd redo that video, because the video didn't do that well. And I don't know how many people are interested in my favorite movies ever. That'd be more of a stream thing. Video ideas that I think are very niche to specific people in my fandom are probably better off as streams rather than whole-on videos. Anime is a medium? Yeah, I know it is, but to me it's just like animation. Andrea says, I need to get back to studying. Have a good day, everyone. Bye. Peace out. Thanks for tuning in. Sean says, Goldman, would you go to watch Revenge of the Sith when it re-releases in theaters? Yes, I will be. I will be there day one. Maybe not day one, maybe day two. Because I think these things usually release on a Thursday night. I'll be there maybe Friday or Saturday. But yeah, I'll see it 100%. It's on my bucket list to watch every Star Wars movie in theaters. So obviously I've seen the 5 Disney Star Wars movies in theaters. I saw The Empire Strikes Back in theaters, Return of the Jedi in theaters, Phantom Menace in theaters, and now Revenge of the Sith. So after April finishes, then I just need to watch the classic Star Wars, A New Hope in theaters, and Attack of the Clones in theaters. And then I can cross it off my bucket list. I'm really curious if they'll do Attack of the Clones in theaters, because it's so weird they're doing it now. It's like they re-released The Phantom Menace in theaters for the 25th anniversary, and now they re-released Revenge of the Sith for the 20th anniversary. So in 2026, 7. Are they going to do Attack of the Clones 20th, 25th anniversary? I don't know. A New Hope they have to do for the 50th anniversary. There is no way in 2027 they're not going to re-release A New Hope for their 50th anniversary. It's just not going to happen. So, you think they'll re-release The Force Awakens for the 10-year anniversary? I don't know if people would be as interested in seeing The Force Awakens. It just hasn't resonated as much as Revenge of the Sith in pop culture, which is unfortunate. But I would see The Force Awakens again. It's still the highest grossing domestic movie ever made. So, where was I? Doll says, the only anime I've really been interested in was Death Note. Hanover says, what are your thoughts on No Way Home? A lot of people have turned on that movie, and I haven't seen it since it came out, but I loved it. I mean, I really liked it too. I haven't rewatched it in a while, so I'm curious if it doesn't age well, like people say it doesn't age well. Rishtav says, well, if you do give anime movies a chance, I did recommend Whisper of the Heart since it's about someone dealing with writer's block. I'll probably one day just look up the best anime movies ever and watch those. I did watch one. What was it called? I think Your Name. It was like a love story, kind of. That was a good movie. The Forbidden Herald says, the fact that Star Wars New Hope is almost 50 years old is crazy. They're 100% re-releasing that in theaters. You know what? Oh my God. Imagine they re-release the theatrical version in theaters for the 50th anniversary. Oh my God. I'd cry. The theatrical versions are better than the special editions of the original Star Wars. 100%. Did you ever play EA Battlefront 2 2017? Yeah, I played it for a while. Once they stopped supporting the game, I stopped playing it. But when it was coming out, I played that game quite a bit. Anaha says, have you seen Flow? No. Persephone says, I don't know when you'll watch an anime show that you haven't watched yet, but I think you'll like the first 3 seasons of Beyblade Metal Saga. The 4th one isn't the best. One of these days, when I do get into anime, I'll just ask someone to make me a list. The Forbidden Herald says, I'd love a Star Wars animated movie, either in the Clone Wars style or a similar style to Arcane. Yeah, that's something that I find so strange, that they haven't made an animated Star Wars movie, not including the Clone Wars. That was 17 years ago. I mean, if you took the total runtime of Tales of the Jedi, I mean, it's like an hour and a half. Just make an animated movie at that point. Release it in theaters. People would go see it. And you don't need to have the expectations of it being $1 billion film. And the Star Wars Clone Wars animation is like really good animation. Of all the animated TV shows out there, when it comes to the quality of the animation, it's like Arcane and the Clone Wars are regarded as 2 of the best. So yeah, do more Clone Wars animation style movies. The fact that they haven't done that, it's such malpractice, man. Just malpractice. If Rogue One and Solo got re-released in theaters, do you think Solo Anniversary in theaters might get better than it had in the initial release? No. They did actually re-release Rogue One when Andor came out 2.5 years ago. I saw it again in theaters. They're never re-releasing Solo. Like, maybe for the 10-year anniversary, but I doubt it. Solo bombed. It might have a bit of a more niche audience, but unfortunately, I just don't think there's a demand right now to re-release any of the Disney movies. They're just too recent, and people didn't like most of them. I mean, that's just where we are in the pendulum swing. People still don't like Disney, so when that shifts, then they can re-release it. Maybe 15-year anniversary for The Force Awakens. E10 Cole says, when you said that the Dooku episodes from Tales of the Jedi are interesting, do you mean that they're interesting in a good way, bad way, or neutral way? In a good way. I don't know if something could be interesting in a bad way. Say in a good way. Rex Coder said, it would be nice if Star Wars could release a Jedi Academy style game in the post-sequel era. Yeah, I'd support that. Goldman, have you ever watched the channel Larry the Stormtrooper? No, I've never even heard of Larry the Stormtrooper. Do you think you can do a video on the Clone Wars movie? Could I? Yeah. Will I? Probably not. Sean says, Disney should do what Goldman said. Do a series called Tales of the Clone Wars that talks about the deleted episodes of the Clone Wars. Yeah, I mean, that's not even something I would want to see per se. I just think it's something people would see. There's demand for that. But, that involves critical thinking, and instead we're getting episodes about Morgan Elsbeth. And the thing with the Clone Wars episodes, like the scripts are written. It saves time. Just make the episodes. You don't need to spend time writing these episodes. Rishav says the Siege of Mandalore would have been a great animated movie to release. Oh my god. Yeah. Not wrong. By the way, guys, I'm going to wrap up the stream in a few minutes. So if you have any burning questions you'd like to have answered, ask them now. Persephone says, the only things I dislike in the show that are the 4th season and the English dub. What are you talking about? Oh, probably one of the animated shows? Dogme says, last one. What do you think has happened to some recent movies or shows that have been disliked by the audience due to something like messy plotline and cringe moments? I'm not sure what exactly you're asking. Are you asking about like a specific film or just like the film industry as a whole? Clarify that. Sean says, Goldman, what you having for lunch? I mentioned this before. I'm going to Costco. I'm going to have a slice of pizza with pepperoni. Maybe I'll have a hot dog. Hopefully Costco's not too packed. It probably is, but probably not. Sean says, I have family coming over, so see ya and God bless. Happy Sundays. All right, guys. I'm going to wrap up the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in, as always. I'll be back next week for another Q&A stream. So, yeah. Don't forget. We have Andor. No, we have Daredevil starting this week, so that's awesome. So, yeah. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching another one of my videos. Don't forget to hit the Cloud Squad. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.